Well, as each new detail came out, the story just got worse. An 8-year-old girl gang raped in a Phoenix apartment complex, allegedly lured into this shed and attacked by 4 young boys. Like the victim, all of them are Liberian refugees resettled in the U.S. The oldest of the boys is 14, and authorities plan to try him as an adult. That's caught a lot of people's attention. But catching even more, word from police the girl's family disowned her out of shame. With culture an issue here, Liberia's president decided to weigh in. Here's a snippet of my interview with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on Friday.
Those parents should know that things have changed in Liberia. No longer do we tolerate this. And this is not a question of shame on the family. It's a question of the assault on a young child, and that cannot be tolerated.
Well, clearly a global outcry here, and offers of help for the little girl have been pouring in. It's an emotional situation, and you've got to wonder if that could affect the case at all. Joining us live from Phoenix, former Maricopa County Attorney Rick Romley. I'm curious, Rick, just the fact, I mean, it's not every day that a president of another country weighs in on a local case.
Oh, it's quite unusual, and but it's a shocking case. It's one that has touched a lot of people internationally, and here in Arizona, I can assure you, it's something on the story is revealed every day in the news media.
Well, what do you think as an attorney and knowing Phoenix, Arizona so well, and the crime there and the influences that are taking place within this kind of battle between culture and crime? And we talked a lot about rape in Liberia used as a tool of war, and you've got these kids coming over here, many of them not seeing it as anything else. Do you think that this 14-year-old, Stephen Tope, should be charged as an adult?
Well, I don't have all of the facts, but considering that Arizona, the laws in Arizona says that the juvenile justice system can only deal with that juvenile, the child, up until their 18th birthday, and then they must be let go, totally free, no supervision in any way. I support, at least on the surface, that he should be tried as an adult. I mean, it was a serious, it's called a dangerous crime against a child, and the initial information is that I do believe he should be tried as an adult.
Tell me how you do process that, though. How do you decide if someone that young be tried as an adult? Is it because the crime is so atrocious? Kind of put me into the mindset here of how you make a decision like that.
You know, there's a multitude of factors that a prosecutor goes through in deciding whether or not to try him as an adult. Number one, of course, what kind of crime was committed? Was it a burglary? Was it a murder? Was it a dangerous crime against children? The more serious the charge, of course, the more likely that it is to be transferred. And you want to look at the underlying facts of the case as well. I mean, how egregious were the facts that involved in that particular criminal activity? The background of the child that you're dealing with, had they been through the juvenile system over and over again? And I think one of the primary focuses here is how much time do you have left in the juvenile justice system to deal with these children, because at 18, they've got to be let go no matter what. While in the adult system, you can keep them under supervision, you can keep them incarcerated if necessary for a much longer period of time.
So is the idea to try and change I mean, I guess there's two ways to look at this. Looking at how awful this crime is, do you get him off the streets and get him into a facility where he needs to learn this is not how you behave in the United States, whether rape is used as a tool for war in Liberia or not? You're in the United States now. This is not how you view it. Okay, so you could see maybe from the point of view of some folks that he could be rehabilitated, he could be taught what you are supposed to do and not do, you'll be held accountable for your actions. But at the same time, this is someone who could, put himself into a very dangerous position by being in jail. I mean, a lot of individuals who commit crimes against young children, they don't make it out alive.
This is a much more complicated case than your average case. There's no question at all. You have the culture that's involved for, he's a child from Liberia, a different type of culture. But with that said, I mean, the people that come to this country must abide by the laws of this country. I mean, there's some countries that permit that wives can be beaten and even at times be murdered for certain types of offenses by their husband. That's not acceptable in this country. Now, where you are right is exactly that, you know, you take into account those types of circumstances at the time of sentencing. The judge, I am absolutely confident, will consider those types of factors. But what's more complicated in Arizona is that if he goes to trial and is found guilty here, this is a mandatory prison term for a minimum of 14 years. So there's a lot of dynamics in play. I mean, I don't think that the story has totally been told yet. I don't think that we know all of the facts here. I don't know what the prosecutor is going to be doing because he did file it directly into the adult court system. We don't even know if the prosecutor is going to try to get the 13-year-old or the others into the adult court system because our laws are such that that requires the approval of the judge. If you're under the age of 14, a judge must make the determination whether or not they should go to the adult system. Because he's 14, the prosecutor exercised his discretion and filed it directly. And we're going to have to be waiting to see if there's a plea bargain that's going to be offered. And of course, taking into account the culture that he comes from.
It's a heartbreaking story every way you look at it. Rick Bromley,
yes.
Appreciate your insight. We're going to stay on top of it. Thank you.
Bye, Kira.